You're looking to buy a nice Japanese import here in Australia. We all love these cars. I mean, I do. And if you're watching this video, there's a chance that you love imports too. They're more advanced, they have more features and options, they offer better performance, they're high quality, and in general, they're better value for money. But very often they come with a haircut or fake low mileage. And when you're buying a new car, you want to make sure that the mileage on your vehicle is genuine. What should you do? Hi everyone, I'm Natalia from Best People Movers, a tiny dealership in Sutherland Shire, Sydney, and today I'm going to share with you my first tip on how to verify mileage on your Japanese import. You must buy with original expert certificate from Japan. It's a blue color paper, A4 size. It's glossy and it feels slightly thicker than usual paper. And if we look against the light, you will see lots of watermarks. It's half Japanese, half English. And every single dealer in Australia should have one for each single vehicle. Well, firstly, it tells us that the vehicle hasn't been stolen. It was purchased at the auctions in Japan, then deregistered and imported into Australia. This is why we often refer to it as dereg paper. So official name, expert certificate, slang, dereg paper. Secondly, it has two last odometer readings taken at the Japanese roadworthy, usually 2 years apart. Here in Australia, we register our vehicles each year. We do pink slip and the mechanic enters record of mileage into the system. In Japan, when they're buying a brand new car, the first renewal of rego is due in 3 years' time and then every 2 years. We have to understand that Japanese roadworthy is much more expensive than what we pay here. It costs them more money. So usually they would use all of the 2 years and they sell just before the renewal is due. Let's have a look at my example here. So it's a Toyota Estima 2007. It's on my website, ID 409, www.bestpeoplemovers.com.au. And I'll show you a few things here. So it was first registered in March 2007 and then sold in March 2018. So the first renewal was due in March 2010 and then every 2 years, 2012, 2014, 2016, and they sold it just before the new renewal, March 2018. So ideally we should have here two latest odometer readings, March 2016 and before that March 2014. And if we have a look at the paper, indeed we have two mileage records, March 2014 and then March 2016. So it's a perfect match. So how do we exactly verify it? Usually with the help of a calculator, but I never have one. I use it in my mobile, so I don't have it. I'm going to give you a very simple example. Let's have a look. Let's take a hypothetical car, 10 years of age, that has done 100,000 kilometers. So 100,000 kilometers, 10 years of age. We are very safe to assume that the previous owners were doing only 10,000 kilometers each year, right? So if we are buying this vehicle in 2018, we should have just two odometer readings, 2016 and 2 years before that, 2014. And if we follow that logic, then in 2016, we should have 80,000 kilometers on the paper, and 2014, 60,000 kilometers. And of course, if you're looking at the paper and the number is much higher, let's say 100 or 110,000 kilometers 2 years ago, then it's definitely a haircut. I'm going to veer off slightly here. I think it's very important to understand that all haircuts, probably 90% of the haircuts, are done here in Australia or in Japan by custom order from Australia. They're not done by Japanese owners who take their mileages down and then bring them to the auctions. No, they're done by people that sell these vehicles here. Why? I think the main reason is because our Australian Japanese industry is extremely overcrowded. We have too many import dealers and a very, very short list of what we can import. And everyone's doing the same 2 or 3 models: Toyota Estima, Nissan Elgrand, Toyota Estima, a bit of Nissan Skyline, a bit of Toyota Alphard, Mitsubishi Delica, and that's about it. On top of that, we have, as dealers, we have to compete with privates. There's a lot of private people that are doing this as their side business. So they're importing cars from Japan, selling them, importing again. And some of them are doing much bigger numbers than I sell here, having a full motor dealership license. And of course, they don't pay tax, they don't pay GST, no overhead, so it's extremely difficult to compete. And let's have a look at some numbers. On average, only 500 second-hand Japanese cars are imported each month into Australia from Japan. 500 each month. Compare this to 11,000 vehicles imported into New Zealand each month. So once again, we have 500 cars for Australian market with population nearly 25 million people, and then we have 11,000 a month New Zealand with population just over 4 million people. So the difference is huge, and it just tells you how overcrowded our market is and how the small is the niche. So how do you stand out in this competition? How do you attract more business to your business? One would think perhaps you offer better service, or you import better quality cars. I hate to disappoint you. That's not how it's done. Unfortunately, most people in our industry are in for fast cash. And how do you make fast cash? You buy cheap, high mileage import, bring it here, take the mileage down, and that's how you beat your competition and maximize your profit. You sell your car much, much quicker. There's also another very popular trick these days you have to be aware of. It's called match the dereg. What does it mean? Since a lot of customers are aware these days that there is such thing as expert certificate and it has some record, mileage record, people that are doing haircuts, they're bringing it down just slightly above the last odometer reading on the paper. So it's just slightly higher. Let's have a look at my example again. So it's a Toyota Estima ID 409. It's a 2007 year model. We purchased it in March 2018, and it was first registered in March 2007. So at the moment, it has a mileage of just over 103,000 kilometers. But the last record here is 81,000 in March 2016. So if someone's doing haircut for this particular vehicle, what they could do, they could actually bring it down to 83,000 kilometers. So here you've got 81, and then on the odometer you've got 83. It just sounds so much better, isn't it? When you look at car sales, at ads, we always look for something better value, low mileage, and 83 looks heaps better than 103. And whoever does it, they will be able to sell their vehicle much faster. Probably not with much more profit, but just a lot faster, because everyone's looking for low mileage. So how to avoid this? It's very simple. All you have to do is look at how many kilometers the car has done previous 2 years. In this case, between March 2014 and March 2016. So this car has done 22,000 kilometers, 11,000 each year. And then you add 81,000 kilometers plus 22,000 kilometers, and you have a perfect match, 103,000 kilometers. Right. I think this is it for today, and I hope that I gave you some valuable information and didn't confuse you any further. But if I did confuse you, or if you have this paper and it's not very straightforward, or you have your doubts, please email me, call me, PM, DM, Twitter. I'm really available. I'll help you to have a look at it, and we work it out together. No problem. And thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. It was my very first Facebook Live, and I hope I did well. I had no teleprompt, I promise, so please forgive my mistakes if there were any. And please stay tuned, because next week I'm going to share with you my other 2 tips, how to verify mileage. And I'll also share a couple of funny stories from my own experience with fake mileages. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Oh, and please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.